Emma told herself she would keep her distance. She had promised, silently, after that night in Daniel's apartment, after the words that cut too deep and the silence that followed. But promises to oneself are often the easiest to break. She saw him again 2 days later. Not planned, not arranged, at least not by her. She was at the market, helping her mother carry bags of vegetables, when she noticed him across the street, standing near a construction site, helmet under his arm, issuing directions to a group of workers. Her heart tightened before her mind could react. He looked absorbed, confident, his voice carrying over the noise of machinery. And for a moment, Emma felt as if she were 17 again, watching him dream about the future with reckless certainty. He noticed her. His eyes met hers across the chaos, and though neither of them moved, the air between them shifted. A small nod, nothing more. But it was enough to remind Emma that distance was a fragile thing. That evening, her mother commented on her distraction. "You've been quiet all day." "I'm just tired," Emma replied, though the lie tasted bitter. Her mother gave her a knowing look. "You've seen him, haven't you?" Emma froze. "Who?" "Daniel." The name carried no malice, only recognition. "He never really left this place." "And neither did you, not completely." Emma bristled. "That was years ago. It doesn't matter anymore." Her mother didn't argue. She simply said, softly, "Sometimes what matters doesn't disappear just because we want it to." The words haunted Emma long after she went to bed. The following week, Daniel called. She didn't know why she answered. "Emma," he said, his voice steady but tentative, "there's a gallery opening tomorrow. They're showing architectural sketches, old and new. I thought, maybe you'd like it." She should have said no. She should have cut the thread before it tangled further. Instead, she found herself saying yes. The gallery was crowded, filled with the low hum of conversation and the sharp scent of wine. Emma wore a simple black dress, the same one she had packed for occasions, though she hadn't expected this would be one of them. Daniel met her at the entrance, and for a moment, she allowed herself to notice how he had changed. The suit was plain, but he carried it well. His posture, once restless, now seemed grounded. Time had shaped him, not softened him, but made him more solid. They moved through the gallery together, pausing before drawings that told stories of buildings both imagined and real. Emma listened as Daniel spoke about design, about the tension between preserving history and creating something new. She could hear the passion in his voice, the same passion that had once drawn her in. But as the evening wore on, the weight of their history pressed in. A couple nearby laughed, holding hands, and the sound pierced Emma like a blade. She remembered nights when she and Daniel had been like that, untouched by the heaviness of endings, believing in forever. She excused herself, stepping out into the cool night air. Daniel followed. "What's wrong?" he asked gently. Emma shook her head. "I don't belong here. Not with you. Not anymore." Daniel's brow furrowed. "Emma, I'm not asking for what we had. I just want," he hesitated, then said softly, "I just want to know you again." Her chest ached. "And what if I don't want to know you?" The silence stretched. Daniel didn't flinch, didn't argue. "Then tell me, and I'll stop." Emma opened her mouth, ready to end it, to draw the line once and for all. But the words wouldn't come. Because it wasn't true. She did want to know him again. She just didn't know if she could survive it. So instead she said nothing. And silence, as always, said more than words ever could. In the weeks that followed, the distance between them grew complicated. They saw each other often enough to keep the thread alive, but never enough to close the gap. Conversations were careful, full of pauses, like two people afraid of breaking something fragile. Sometimes Daniel reached out, an invitation to coffee, a message about a book he thought she'd like, a quiet check-in after a stormy night. Sometimes Emma responded. sometimes she didn't. One evening, after a long day of writing that led nowhere, Emma found herself standing outside his apartment building. She hadn't planned it. She told herself she was just walking, just moving. But her feet had carried her here anyway. She almost turned back. But then Daniel appeared at the door, surprise flickering across his face before softening. "Emma," he said. "What are you doing here?" She hesitated, then whispered, "I don't know." He didn't press. He simply opened the door wider. "Then come in until you do." Inside, they sat on opposite ends of the couch. The air between them felt charged, as if one wrong word might set everything ablaze. "Why do you keep letting me in?" Emma asked suddenly. Daniel looked at her, his gaze steady. "Because I'd rather risk the silence than lose the chance to hear you again." Her throat tightened. "You make it sound so simple." "It's not simple. It's painful. Every day, it's painful. But walking away from you again," he trailed off, shaking his head. "That would be worse." Emma wanted to scream at him, to tell him he was wrong, that this was already too much, too dangerous. But instead she whispered, "You don't know what you're asking of me." Daniel's voice was quiet but firm. "Then tell me. Tell me what you need. I'll listen." Emma looked at him, her chest aching with all the words she couldn't say. She wanted to ask for time, for forgiveness, for the impossible return of what they had lost. But she couldn't. Not yet. So she stood, leaving before the silence swallowed her whole. That night, lying awake, Emma realized the truth she didn't want to face: the distance between them wasn't just physical. It was built of fear, of wounds unhealed, of love that refused to die but refused to live freely, too. And unless something broke, unless something changed, the distance would only keep growing.